Hello everyone, if you can hear me, can you type a letter Y so that I know that you guys are ready? Thank you, Alan. Thank you, Quack Ping, Tony, YC William. Thank you for being early and being punctual. How many of you are joining us for the first time? Can you type a number 1? Just want to see how many of you are first time. Okay, great. That means you all are familiar with Binni. So Binni is our Oh, William, so this is your first time. All right. Okay, so Binni is a trainer. She has been trading for 15 years. She's a trainer and a trader. So today we have invited her. This is the part 2. So she'll be doing a number of webinars where there will be in two parts. Today and also in November. She has been, I believe this is her 4th time with us. So she has been invited to speak for different financial institutions, and she has a master in business, and also she has a lot of experience in the area of statistics, and she applies it to trading. So do hear her out on what she has to share today, and take note of all the products that she will be sharing, and you can access them on our Phillip CFD. So without further delay, over to you, Binni.
Thank you, Ming Han. Hi, everyone. Let's get started. Let me just share my screen. Just hang on for a while. Okay, I'll be showing live here. So if you have any other products or any products that are interested, just let me know. All right, if you can see my screen, which is now showing market update with Binni Ong, just type a 2 so that I know that you can see my screen. Simski. Okay. All right. Before this, HSI. Okay, got it. So that's why today I only prepared 2 that I want to talk about. The rest I will get your questions, okay? Disclaimer, whatever that's said here is for educational purpose and not as a financial advice. Disclaimer from PhillipCapital, disclaimer for myself, the same thing, whatever that's said here, not recommendation for any investment product, no buy or sell, not financial advice. And this is myself. I think that for those who are familiar with me, that's good. But if you do want to contact me, so these are my contact information. So you can write an email to me if you need to, or you can go to my YouTube, then subscribe to it. Or if you don't want to subscribe, it's fine. Just leave at the comments any of the comments that you want me to talk about. Then you can just leave the comments and let me know. Okay. Okay, good. I will take note of all of them. Just to let you know, 700, I just covered that in my YouTube, just like maybe 2 days ago. I don't think that 710 cents will change a lot. I believe that HSI I covered last round. I will do a round up today. 3690 Meituan. Let me just see whether I can get a video on it. Okay, but anyway, you know the drill. You let me know what you want to talk about, and I try to do it in this session here. Okay, so these are the things I want to do. If you need a demo account, go to Phillip MT5s, and then you can contact them. Okay, so let's get started. You know the drill. All right, here we go. So this is HSI. This is a MT5 account. So let me know that you can see the MT5 by typing a 3. Thanks a lot. Okay. Okay, that's good. All right. So this is HSI. What I'm gonna do, oops, wait, just hang on for a while. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna review on what I've said last week very, very quickly. Okay, I said that they will be likely to be a resistance here. You see this resistance? I give you the reason why I said that. So these are the resistance, okay? So you have to pay attention to this resistance and just remember one thing, all right? when you, let's say you have a door, right? And you want to break down the door, okay? Do you think that with one bang on the door, do you think that the door would break with just one strike or one bang? I think it's very hard, right? You've probably seen in the movies, you have to bang it a few times, okay? The first or second try is to weaken the structure, and probably only you get it during the third try. Okay, same thing as a breakout. Okay, same thing as a breakout. So this is a very strong resistance here, which is the red line here, right? So these are very strong resistance here. So in order for HSI to break out, to move higher, okay, we probably need to have price try and attempt this level various times so that to weaken the structure. Okay, so I mentioned that as long as price can stay below this line, but not too far below, okay? You can't get it too far below, okay? It must stay within like a comfortable range. That means near to the top of the range, okay? Why do I say near the top of the range? Because if price moves down so much lower, it just says that the bulls are not that strong. Because if the bulls are strong, it should be coming in to buy at a higher price, okay? So one of the key thing I said before in the session as well as my video. So this time HSI is different because it managed to break the previous high. So this is the previous high, okay? Which also means that when price retrace downward, okay, and it's normal to expect a retracement to happen. When price retraces downward, it should get supported, okay? It should get supported at this previous high, okay? And it shouldn't get too low. Okay, remember, it shouldn't get too low. So the last tolerance that you're going to have is this 62%, which is around 19,258. Bear in mind that it might just varies a little bit to price feed, or maybe that you might just overshoot a little bit, right? Or fall short a little bit. So it's just a range, okay? So we're going to have this range here, which is around 19,600 plus minus to 19,350 plus minus around this range here, okay? So very important. We want to see HSI getting supported, and the longer it stays here, all right, I wouldn't say it's better, but it needs to stay here for some time so that the weak players can be flushed out and the strong players can come in to buy. Okay, so pay attention to all these levels that I've mapped out, and HSI is pending at set. That means it is doing the retracement. Okay, from the trend point of view, the moving averages are opening up at the day, and it's still showing an uptrend. So I do not think that this correction or this temporary retracement is unhealthy. I think that it is healthy. If you look at a lot of the Hong Kong stocks that went up, it went up with a huge volume. So when it's coming down, we need to note that the volume is contracting. Okay, so same thing, look at the price level here at each of the support. And if you are, let's say, bullish on it, then you should be looking for some bullish reaction at the candles, okay? And for indexes, you can use a 1 hour time frame for entry if you are fine-tuning that, or you can use a day time frame to enter. Okay, so this is so far what is happening to HSI. But at the end of the day, I also said before, okay, so this time is different, but it needs to ultimately, okay, close above this level here. So this is the key level. It must ultimately close above this level here. So take note, 22,692. So plus minus around there, I would really give it like a 23,000. Okay, 23,000 is that round number that price must close above. Okay, all right. So, any questions on HSI? I think that I can only update Simsky in my own session if you are asking for TED or wash and rinse method. Today is a bit of a general session. Okay. Any questions on HSI for those who are asking me about HSI? Otherwise, I'll just move on to the next pair that I want to talk about. Okay, so last week, not only that I talked about HSI, I also mentioned about Euro. So for those who were here with me last week, what did I say about Euro? I think I explained a lot about Euro. Okay, let me just recap. Okay, so basically I said that Euro has this double top formation, and then this is a neckline. All right, and these are the two green lines, which are essentially the resistance level. That means that if price can break below this green level here, then we are waiting for a bearish opportunity. Okay, and I mentioned that we are waiting for price to retrace to the green lines. Okay, either this one here, the first one, or either the second one. It is hard to guess which one. Okay, so from there, Euro moved out. See that? So if you had shorted at the point I mentioned, plus minus around this level here, so that was about 1.0960. All right, now Euro is about 1.0853. So that's about 100 pips. Okay, I know that it took a long time for 100 pips to happen, but this is the current market right now. Even if you are doing stocks, or even we are doing commodity or oil, it just doesn't really move that fast. Okay, it's a slow market at this moment, even for the indexes. All right. So do I still continue to see Euro moving down? Okay, one thing to check that, right, is to take a look at the weekly chart. I mentioned that if we are having a bearish view here, then somewhere around this zone, right, would be the support level, okay, which is about 107. So that is the longer view. But one thing about Euro, all right, to take note is this key level here. So we always look at key levels, okay? So what is this key level here? Let me just highlight that so that I can leave this to the next month. Okay, because I run this program twice every month. I think so, yes. Okay. So you see, this is a key level because this was that level to result in Euro moving up. Okay, so this one here. All right, so let me just expand that for you and explain it, right? So there was a resistance and there was a resistance, and this resistance spans over about a month, okay, or rather 2 to 3 weeks. And finally, Euro broke up and hit into another one more resistance here, okay? All right. Now, what this means is that if price is right now closing below this horizontal level, right? So whoever who bought here, okay, I repeat this question here. Whoever who bought here, when they see price showing this movement, are they happy or sad? Let me know in the response. Okay, I repeat my question. Whoever who bought here at this price, okay, at around the box which I highlighted, okay, and they see that price is right now here, are they happy or sad? Okay, they are sad, right? Because then whatever price they bought is right now lower. Okay, so in other words, right, as long as there is a day close or week close, okay, of course the week is preferred over day, but day is something that I prefer to use, then I would be still expecting Euro to continue downwards. So if you look at dollar index, you know that dollar has been recently going very high. Okay, and then Euro breaking down is not something that's unexpected, especially if you look at the data from Eurozone and you look at what ECB is saying, all right, is that they think that inflation is good at this moment and they are not going to do anything. They're just going to, let Euro fall because then, in the first place, Europe isn't in a very good shape, all right? So that's because US high and ECB has to hike. So right now, US is not hiking, then it's natural for Euro to move down. So this is a bit of a natural response, okay? Which I think that it's I wouldn't say it's a no-brainer trade, but it's a is a trade that we have to focus on. It's one of those trade which you know, is illogical from the fundamental point of view and from the technical point of view. Okay, so that was the reason why I highlighted on bearish in euro, and not only to your group but even to my own group, that we were talking about shorting euro just about 2 weeks ago. Okay, now with this, I just quickly want to move to pound, but I like to know who traded onto euro. After my session, who went in to take a look at euro and traded that? Oh, I have to make a sad face. Okay, doesn't matter. So let's move on from euro. So let's take a look at the next dollar pair. All right. So this is pound dollar. All right. So same thing. If you look at euro, let me just write that down. Euro, EUR, SUD, right? If I am bearish on euro, means that I think that EUD would go down against the dollar. Okay, so either the dollar is going to be neutral, or either dollar is going to go up. Now, overall, when this relationship happens, then EUR versus USD, which is euro, will be heading down in general. So if you take a look at if dollar is likely going to strengthen, then I could be looking at, for example, another pairing, which is pound versus dollar. So in the world of FX, all right, you know, there will be rotation play. That means that if after the euro, what happened to the other FX? Okay, so euro is always tagged together with pound and with franc. Okay, but franc went the other way around because franc started to cut rate earlier. Okay, likewise, right, when you take a look at the currency, then Aussie is always tagged with which one? Kiwi and with CAD. Okay, because they are sort of like the commodity FX. Okay, so there are themes that we can play. So if euro it's a little bit bearish, then it makes sense to take a look at pound, because euro had already moved, right? Then we ask, okay, what happened to pound, right? If overall the trend of dollar is heading up. Okay, so let's take a look at dollar here. Okay, it's in terms of pound, right? Same thing, we start off with the weekly chart. You see this as a high level here, right? So this is a high. So we know that this was at that point of time a resistance. Okay, so let me just draw a line here. So this is the line, right? Oops, here we go. Okay, now, so there were people who bought in based on the reaction to this point here. Okay, so for example, take a look at this white color candle. Let me just zoom that in. Okay, you see this white color candle here as a reference to this previous high, right? So there were people who bought based on this white color candle, and then priced hover for a while, right? And then ultimately, what happened? The price continued to move higher on this white color candle. Can see that? Okay. Then subsequently, what happened then? You see this black color candle here? Okay, and you see this black color candle here? And this black color candle here, right? So what can we induce from this price movement? The people who bought here. Okay, same exercise. Okay, the people who bought here, right? In this zone here, around this price, which is around 1.3140 to 1.34. By the time they see 1.2984, okay, or rather you want to round it down to 1.3, right? So people average bought at 1.3150 and above. But when they see 1.30, how would they feel then? Let me know, happy or sad? Yeah, they will feel sad, right? Okay. Yes, okay. And well, of course that there are many levels of price levels, right? So there are this one more high point here, and there's one more low point here that the market was looking at that point of time, because all this are all the possible support, resistance, and clusters that might obstruct opinion. That means obstruct a view, right? So what is happening right now to pound is that just happening. Today is Thursday, right? So tomorrow will result in a week close. Okay. So even though the week is showing there is still an uptrend, but it's moving below, okay, most of the near support level. Okay, I repeat this statement here, right? So for pound, it's moving below, near to the below, right? To the possible support level. Okay, so these could be a possible support level. This could be a possible support level. This could be a possible support level, right? But it is actually breaking them right now. Okay, so when you go inside the day, you realize that yesterday, okay, it had been hovering in a 30 pips. Okay, so this is what I mean by that 30 pips price movement, 30 to 50 pips price movement, right? And you hardly get that from pound. But yesterday, right, finally with this day close, it had already moved out of this range here. Okay, so I guess that ultimately, if price continue to weaken, all right, the moving averages will ultimately cross down, and a lot more people will start to pay attention to pound. Okay, and one of the thing I'll talk about in terms of trend reversal is that when price is weak, then the price would break below. All right, that means would just hit below this particular low here, and right now it's actually doing so. Okay, so even though that we see a movement, that means that the price to move down, do expect that there will be retracement. Okay, so for euro, the retracement was mild. That means that for euro, I'm right now at the chart of euro, right? We don't really see a lot of retracement happening. That means it just retraced a little bit, it just retraced a little bit, and it still is heading down, right? So for pound, always, as I said, right, it's starting to show bearishness, but sometimes, it will still retrace. Okay, that means that if it comes down, it might just retrace, might or might not. Okay, but I'm expecting that retracement is to happen because we do see the stochastic near to the flat, to the low of the range. But also one thing, right, when we see stochastic very much near to the low of the range, all right, that means that very much below 20, it's also a sign that price is very weak, but it has to be read in context with the price action here, because this was also another occasion, but then price ultimately moved up. Okay, so it has to be read in context. Okay, all right, now, so this is my stand on pound dollar. Any question before I moved on? I covered HSI 3690. I don't think I can do that here. All right. If you don't have any questions on pound dollar, let me just quickly cover a little bit on oil. Okay. So last week I mentioned that I am bullish on oil because we are coming into a support level, and oil, yes, indeed, that it bounced up. Okay, it went up, but it cannot surpass. That means that it cannot move above its resistance level, and then it hit back down. Okay. So it's very important to not only to listen to us, but to also know the reason of us drawing a certain lines and making some judgment calls here. Okay, so these lines are very important because they are the support line. But then if the support aren't supported, all right, which we can see from this bar here, it just have one long bar to gush down, then this support will in turn becomes your resistance. Okay, because it had already broken downwards already. So I do see that, potentially for oil to continue to move down. Okay, the reason being that, end of the day, right, oil is still, in that bigger analysis, all right, it is still a downtrend here. Okay, it is still heading down. All right, it's just that take note. Okay, take note, that there's very strong support, right, all residing here. That means that while oil is still bearish, but this level here, which is about 65 level, all right, is still acting as a support. So if you are looking for some bearish move in oil, the key thing is to note that there is a range. That means there's space. Okay, so if you are, let's say, trading into oil, you want to make sure whatever price that you traded on still have enough space, right, for some profit taking to the very strong support level, which is around 65. Okay, there are some sub levels here, such as, for example, this level, which is about 67. So these are the two levels. So oil is probably hovering in a little bit of a tight range here. All right. But one thing is that next month, I might just come in to say that, hey, look, we might be bullish on oil if, right, it can close above this zone here. Because based on my system, I calculated that this is an essential zone. We in fact that we map in a lot of key resistance here, right? But if finally oil is to break above this resistance level, then yes, it will reverse this whole huge mega downward movement. Okay, so it's really, really dependent on price at this moment. But for now, oil is below the support that I thought it would hold. Okay, so for now, I'm holding oil as a little bit bearish. Okay. All right, I have 3 more minutes left. I want to know whether you do have any questions. If yes, I answer your questions. If no, I will just take like about 3 minutes to talk about gold. Okay, so let's see whether you have questions, then I can answer them. Okay, while I'm waiting for your questions, let me just do a bit of a roundup in gold. When I first started the session, my first session here, the pair that I talked about was gold. And you know my style, I like to trade on low-hanging fruits. That means I'm not really very particular on what I'm trading. So I do the stocks, I do US stocks, I do Hong Kong stocks, I do some Singapore stocks. I do the indexes and I also do the commodities and the FX. So gold is something where is like has only one direction, which is up. Okay, so far gold has been going higher, breaking new high, and this is the all-time high of gold. Okay, which is about 2,680. This level here, the one that I highlighted. Okay, so it's really, really dependent on whether there will be a break to the high. But one thing, if you want to note that there will be a break to the high, right? So when this is the clue, when it starts to correct, it shouldn't move too far low. It should just stay and hover near to the top of the range. Okay, so if you see this as 10 and this one as 1, the consolidation in gold should be around the region of maybe above 6 or 7. Okay, so it should stay near the top of the range. And if this happens, there is a high chance that gold it's going to break higher. Okay, so do watch out for this and try not to go into like gold is too high. I want to short it down, because if you have been trading into metals, you know that when it start trending, the trend would be there and it will be quite lasting. Okay, so don't think that it's going to come down because it is very high. The high can get higher. Okay. All right. Anybody interested in the NASDAQ? If you are interested, then I will take like a few minutes to cover it. Okay, NASDAQ, huh? Okay. So let me just spend about 2-3 minutes on NASDAQ. All right. Okay, so this chart here is not very nice. What I have to do is just to load the template and we get that very nice template here. Okay, so this is NASDAQ. One of the things I told my community is that we cannot think that it's very high. All right, then we want to short it. Neither can we be buying right now. Okay, because if you look at in the past, okay, what is a good buy is always where price moves down. I just draw that for you, right? When price moves down, this is a good buy, right? When price moves down, this is a good buy. And the question is right now that each of the down is very minor, very little, right? So when it becomes like not down a lot, it's difficult for a buy. Okay. Now then another thoughts would be it's very high. Okay, for example, it's near to the all-time high here, right? I want to short it down, right? But you know that the short is not going to be too successful if you don't have momentum. So what is momentum? Momentum is something where everybody must be able to see it. Okay, for example, people must get the same message, all right, that it is a down. Okay, so I give you an example. Okay, so for example, what I like to do is I like to short, for example, when I see that price made a lower low versus the previous low. So this, it was a previous low, right? So this was the low because we are shorting and on a reversal because this is still very much an uptrend. So we want to see a lower low here, right? So let me just do that for you. You see, this was a low point here, like U shape. And then this one here is another U shape that's moved a lower low versus this one. So this is a very, very efficient way of shorting. Okay. Now, if you take a look at the NASDAQ right now, so these are the low, and then these are the low, right? And then this is potentially a low. But we don't see a lower low versus the other low. Okay. What I need to see is I need to see that price gets into the lower low. Then by doing this, right, then it becomes a common message that everybody knows. Okay, then we short when it goes back up. You see, we short when it goes back up, and that's a more, how to say, I won't say efficient, but that's a lot more less prone to failure type of a short. Okay, so can we short at the high here? Can we short at the high? Of course, you can do that, but the thing is that you have to perhaps, run a little bit faster. Okay, are there signs of a weakness? Yes, I think so. There are signs of the weakness, but trend is still high. So what is the meaning of a sign of the weakness? Let me just explain for the point of wash and rinse. Okay, so this was a previous high. Okay, so this was a previous high. Let me just map it down here, right? So was this previous high noted? Yes, it was noted because we saw that price had a few reaction here. It stopped here for a while, right? But what happened to this candle? Price was being pushed up. So if you had attended my lesson on wash and rinse, and this is very common, at key levels, at known levels, at obvious levels, all right, weird things will happen. Okay, we saw that price was being pushed up, and after what, right? After next, it's just being pushed down magically. Okay, so a lot of people who bought here thinking that it was going to go higher immediately can see that they are at a loss. Okay, so yes, are there sign of a bit of bearishness? Yes, they are. Okay, but is that sign very, very strong? It is not, because then this recent low, all right, hasn't been broken yet. So probably the shorting range is from here to here at the moment until that this low is broken. Okay, all right, so this is my stand on almost all the three US indexes. All right, I think that yes, they are a little bit high, but the momentum hasn't it's not in yet. Okay, it hasn't moved in a like a aggregate manner to come inside for a bearish view. Okay, so the movement would have to be quick and fast. All right, that means that you probably get in and then you have to get out and you see what happened. Okay, so that is so far the evaluation I have based on my trading experience, and then this is why I told my community and again to share this with you. Bitcoin, yes, Bitcoin has a bit of a development, but I have no time to talk about it. I might do a video on Bitcoin because I've shared with my community that we are seeing quite a potential huge development of Bitcoin. All right. But I'll probably be able to cover that next round in November. Okay, thanks a lot. Over to you, Minghan.
Okay, thank you, Binni. Let me share my screen. Okay, thank you for your questions. For your For those of you who are first time, if you're first time with us, just want to let you know that we have a CFD promotion. If you have yet to opt in, do opt in and you can claim free copy on us. So Palantir now, I think the Palantir CFD is about $40. So this is free. If you trade more, like 1.5 million Sing dollars in contract value, you will get a TSM, and 4.5 million, you'll get a Microsoft. So my teammate Vanessa has pasted the link in the chat box. You can check it out, and we'll see you next month in November for another two-part series with Binni. Thank you very much and have a nice day.